welcome back to episode 12 of Midnight Movie Reviews. This week, we're continuing our Star Wars saga, and now we're on to a very highly debatable part of the Star Wars series, and it's the sequels. So, I'm gonna just move us right into the summary of these three great films, honestly. They're so good that they're bad. Just kidding, they're not. They're not like The Room, where, you know, it's a cult classic. These are just awful. Most people can agree. But, you know, the whole story revolves around this one character whose last name we don't really know. Her name is Rey. And it talks about how she's trying to find her identity. She goes through this whole story arc of becoming from a farm girl to a Jedi. Sounds very similar to another character we know of. Rhymes with Poop Bywalker, something like that. And yeah, she fights some dudes, falls in love with a dude who killed his dad, apparently. I don't know. Daddy issues, I think. And yeah, happily ever after, the Star Wars series has been ruined. So, I'm just gonna have Adam, before Adam actually takes it away, I'm gonna introduce our guest. We have our good friend Chris Hinton here. He is also a very good avid Star Wars fan. And Chris, just tell me about like the movies you like to watch. You know, what's your favorite thing about film?
I'm a big fan of sci-fi and hero movies. Like, I like all the Avengers movies and Star Wars movies, except for these three.
Oh.
We'll get into later.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Would you, have you ever watched any, do you watch like really old films, or is it mostly like the newer sci-fi stuff that you really enjoy?
I mostly like the newer sci-fi stuff, but occasionally I'll sit down with like some of my parents and we'll watch like some of the crappier sci-fi, like Sharknado and stuff.
Oh, no. Sharknado is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Are you excited for Dune?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, it's gonna be a great movie.
It will. All right. So that aside, Adam, why don't you lead into our questions?
Yes. So first, everyone can share their general opinion on these movies. I'll go first. So, wait, are we allowed to use strong language in this video?
Oh, everyone, caution. There will be strong language in this video because it's very difficult to express our hatred for these three films without using some mean words that some people might find offensive.
I know it's gonna happen at some point.
A little disclaimer there.
So
everyone.
Drop a couple in, yeah.
We might get demonetized, so.
But these movies are, they're interesting.
Strong
I hate
language.
them so much. I mean, not to spoil it, but they're not the worst movies ever. But just because of like how they ruined Star Wars, they are the worst movies ever, and they will all be getting zeros in the final rating.
Yeah.
Just a spoiler. But they're not the worst movies, but they're just like they taint the name of Star Wars
because they're Star Wars movies, and they don't live up to that Star Wars name.
I mean, they'd be terrible movies.
The prequels look amazing. Like, they're just...
What?
The prequels are amazing.
Prequels are amazing. What do you mean?
I'm personally a bigger fan of the original.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
That's
That's
I love the
fair.
originals,
That's fair.
but
Originals are great.
I'd put them on even ground.
Yeah. It's just different time, like what we discussed in the last episode. It's like different times call for different things. So obviously because George Lucas in late 1970s is limited by the technology of his time, so he can't do what he wanted to do for his vision. So obviously it's gonna be a little shoddy when he's putting all this like CGI and stuff. But like that aside, like I mean, like I would say that even the use of CGI in these movies, I don't know, it just made it feel a little too real, but I don't know if that's kind of the vibe Star Wars likes to go for, because it's not supposed to be real, right?
Exactly, because it's a galaxy far away.
But I mean like general
Mm-hmm.
opinions on this movie is like, or on these three movies is, like everyone's probably gonna say this, but like they're pretty bad. Like the storytelling, it's all over the place. The characters are really not cohesive. They just throw storylines in, they throw characters in just because they can and they want to. It's just not. It's not appealing to watch. It's not appealing to the fans. I mean, that's really what I say. But Chris, what do you think?
It's just boring. I mean, like, even some of the fight scenes were just like lame to me.
Yeah,
definitely.
I feel like Star Wars is usually more action-packed, and in these 3 films, it was more slow and methodical with the action and adventure, and just full of.
I mean, I wouldn't say methodical. I would say
yeah.
It was like a Jackson Pollock painting, but like.
Oh yeah.
But like by 5 years.
It's not art. It's just a bunch of people saying that they want money.
It was confusion. These 3 movies are just confusion.
Chris, you should get yourself, storm down to California, go up to Disney headquarters, knock on their door, and be like, fix your fucking movies.
We should all do it.
We should all do it.
I mean, we all should.
We should. Yeah, as true Star Wars fans, we should fix it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
you can go on, Luke.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with all you guys. I mean, they, on their own, if Star Wars hadn't existed, they wouldn't be terrible movies. But just because of the original trilogy and the prequels, how well they all formed like a beautiful Star Wars story that we all know and love. These are just kind of a little bit of a line off of that circle. I know that I said that last episode. I think I said that.
We don't need to argue about who said what.
Doesn't matter. The visuals I thought were good, but that of course is because they were made recently. That's really one of the only good things I can say. I was hoping with the Rise of Skywalker that it would kind of be able to tie the other 2 together and make everything a circle kind of, and make it,
but it didn't.
Have it make sense. But
you're in for a lot of
it just really just let me down kind of.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a letdown.
I agree with you. I just, like, the main thing that upsetted me was the ending. I just didn't like it.
Did you cry like every other girl in the theater?
Oh, heck no. I was more mad. I was just like, I was sitting there looking at the screen like, what happened?
You took your popcorn and threw it at the screen. You're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Have you seen the video? Have you seen the video where this one woman's just like, she's like, oh, it's like Rey's like, I'm Rey Skywalker, and this woman screams, I hate Star Wars, and then everyone in the theater just like gets up and starts like rioting.
Yeah, I can see though with a lot of people who haven't really seen
Okay. Alright, Luke.
Left us.
Luke be like that.
Luke.
It wasn't worth his time.
Luke really just said, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, mad respect. I mean, like, who else would... I mean, like, Chris, I'm really sorry we had to drag you out of your, like, daily life to, like, review the worst. See, but, like, what I was gonna disagree with Luke on is the fact that, like, he was saying how these movies, if they weren't Star Wars films, they would be good, but I disagree with that fact, because it's like...
Actually, funny enough, I also said that, but that's not what I said. I said they'd be they'd still be terrible movies. It's just I wouldn't hate them like I do
as
now.
much as you do.
Can we pause, guys? I think
I'd be watching it like earlier we mentioned Sharknado. I'd be like, oh,
we're
yeah,
not cutting this out. We're not cutting this
whatever.
out.
I don't care. But like, Luke, it's Star Wars, and I want to fucking kill J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, Luke, continue what you were saying, please.
Okay, I don't know when I cut out because I accidentally left the call.
You cut out at the start of your thing.
Yeah, you were like, some people would think, or something like that.
Okay, so what I was saying is that I understand how some people can think these movies are pretty good. But that's
Okay.
but that's only under the circumstance. Shut up, Adam. Adam, this is only under the circumstance that they haven't seen any of the 6 original Star Wars movies.
I mean, no. I mean,
I can see how they wouldn't be bad.
This is where you draw the line between human and animal, okay?
What?
Civilized people understand that these
that's too
movies
far.
are terrible regardless of if they're
But Luke,
tied
the
to
thing is,
Star Wars or
Luke,
not.
but the
Yeah,
Luke, this
no,
thing is,
Luke,
like,
I kind of have to disagree with you on that one. These movies.
My philosophy and my hope for the future of Star Wars is that most of the people who are fans of the sequels are 9-year-olds and they don't know any better, and that one day they're gonna
That's
grow
what
up,
I'm
they're
saying.
gonna rewatch the movies, and they're gonna be like, "The fuck is this shit?"
Yeah.
That's
no,
exactly what I'm
really-
saying.
I honestly really hope that they make another trilogy to add to this, because I really do not want the Star Wars lore to just end on these terrible
well,
movies.
of course it isn't. Of course it isn't.
It's hard to make.
I hope
It's hard to make more movies about Skywalker when you killed off. You killed off.
Yeah, that
before.
is
Killed
true.
off
Like they
Han Solo.
kind
Okay.
of.
Leia.
So
Like,
in a Star Wars
Oh.
universe where these movies exist, it can't be good anymore. Like the only way
Yeah,
that
that's true.
Exactly.
open to more Star Wars movies is if they just take these movies out of canon. It is basically fan fiction, because like all the people who actually thought up Star Wars and like actually love Star Wars, such as my boy George Lucas.
Who's
they're
George
not
Lucas,
there
Adam?
anymore.
Explain to the
Yeah.
audience who certain George Lucas is.
Let's see, George Lucas. He's the guy who created Star Wars. Wow.
Interesting.
But
Oh my god.
yeah, like the thing that separates the prequels from the sequels are the prequels, they're part of the vision, they're part of the story. The sequels, they're just there. Like the story ends and they actually contradict things that were said earlier in the story. So it's stupid and it's dumb. And they're so
Exactly.
obviously
It
made
seems-
for money. Like George Lucas gave them a script, but the thing is that like his shit's weird. Like the prequels, there was some weird stuff, but like actual like fans and people that like don't get mad at anything that's different, they can they might not agree with everything, but they can learn to enjoy it, and that's what's happened with the prequels. But the thing is that Disney, they just want money, and they know that a Pulp Fiction sort of, like not the movie, just like the term sort of thing, like just a common, cheap, marketable sort of sci-fi thing, they know more people are going to want to watch that. So
also,
they just
considering Star Wars is the biggest film empire to ever exist.
They just
I feel
put
like-
a copy together so that more people would watch it. They just want money. They don't care about Star Wars.
Yeah, they don't.
And it
I
almost
feel
seems like they just-
basically just tried to like copy what they did with the Marvel series and stuff with Star Wars, and it just didn't fit because Star Wars is like a whole different.
Star Wars is way more Marvel
Yeah.
movies
I
are
feel like-
good, but Star Wars is just so much more lore and more intricate that they have to be really careful with what they do. And speaking of that
Exactly.
careful thing, they had a perfectly good script from a certain Jorge Lucas. I don't know who that is still, but and the what's her face? I don't even know her name. I'm gonna.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy was like, Kathleen Kennedy's like, what script? And just proceeded to make a and
Bitch.
I mean, it's true. She really doesn't care about Star Wars. Like, or maybe she does, but she just doesn't care in the way that we care.
Female.
Yeah. Someone earlier talked about how they killed off the main characters like Leia and Han. Can we talk about Leia's death?
How did she die?
Can we-
She what?
Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher.
Yeah,
but
rest in peace.
Yeah,
can we
and
talk
they,
about the scene where she flew into space and somehow?
I mean, that's not where she died. She died in the next movie.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, that,
Leia, even though Carrie Fisher died like one movie into the trilogy, so like
Yeah.
like that was just like pitiful. Like
It was really.
Maybe that was a telltale sign for what was to come in these movies.
yeah.
It was when that happened. Yeah.
And I mean, like, I remember
And-
reading about something. Harrison Ford was saying, like, he wanted to have his character killed off in the original trilogy, and I get why I understand why they did it in in this new trilogy. But I honestly think that this new trilogy should not have had any of the like main Star Wars bunch from the original trilogy. I really think it would have been way better off with something brand new that was still tied into the Star Wars universe, kind of like the Kyle Kestis series for Jedi Fallen Order, the video game. That's something I feel like would be really interesting, or just something similar to that.
I think if they were gonna like do like a final trilogy, I think they should have had, you know, all of the original characters and none of the new characters. Like, there's a question later on like what would you have wanted the sequel trilogy to be, and I have like a really like interesting like idea that like what I would have wanted Star Wars to be in the sequels, but we'll get into that later.
All right.
I kind of feel like you can't really. I didn't enjoy the mix of the new and the old. I feel like you kind of have to go one or the other to make it really click with the audience. And another thing I was gonna say is that it felt like there was almost no vision and no planning for these three movies.
Yeah.
Exactly. There was
It seemed like
I'll tell you the vision. The vision was money.
It was.
Yeah,
exactly
I feel,
like they didn't. It seems like they didn't even plan the 3 episodes out. It almost just seems like they kind of made it up as they went
That's
along.
exactly what happened. Like, that is really what happened.
That's exactly what they did.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel
it's
like
quite sad.
The sequels should have been. I don't think it should have been about Rey, Palpatine, or Skywalker, whoever she is.
Just Rey.
I don't.
We don't
I
even
think
know.
it should have been about like Luke's son or someone,
About Luke.
like
Even about
Ben
Luke.
Skywalker, or
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
well,
I
why don't we,
really
guys? Why don't we save our predictions and what we really wanted for that later question, where we can really like in depth talk about it?
I just want to say, like, few months ago, maybe like half a year ago, when someone said in an interview that like a week before actually filming, they decided that Rey was Palpatine's granddaughter, and I'm like, really? Why is everyone so shocked at this? I mean, no shit. They had no plan whatsoever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
it was that.
Exactly what I was
that-
saying. It's just so sad.
The perception of Star Wars is ruined. How could they have done this? Like,
Isn't
Like,
it?
Lucas already had all the scripts for all 3 of the movies, even before like the first one was filmed.
yeah,
I mean,
they had an idea.
that's just.
Yeah.
Not only is it just stupid that they did that, but it's disgusting when you think about it. Palpatine had a child.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like,
Yeah.
I think it was like
And he-
artificial.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But they
I
already
think it was
used
a
that.
son
You
or
can't
something.
use that storyline again because we had another artificial kid, Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean,
It's just
the
annoying.
creators of this movie basically just took a cake, smashed it in George Lucas's face, and said,
no, they
eat
took a shit in his mouth.
Yeah, they definitely
both.
did that.
Both.
Okay, guys. Adam, why don't you move it along to the next
Yeah.
thing we can shit on?
All right, now we're gonna talk about characters and acting. Who wants to go first?
Let's let Chris go
Oh.
on this one.
Yeah.
Can we talk about all of the useless characters
Go
that
ahead.
were in the movie?
Oh.
The
Can we
Asian
talk
lady.
List them
about
off. List
All of
them
them.
off.
Rose?
What
Yeah.
Asian lady?
Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
And
woman.
Finn was like they set him up to be a really good character. Like he was my favorite.
gonna be good.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna be a Jedi.
Trilogy. And like the thing
Yeah,
was, is they had characters and then they
Mhm.
abandoned those and introduced new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's so dumb.
I
They-
actually
they
really
set
liked
up-
Finn in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I like Finn too.
In the first
They
half of
set
the
up
Force
Finn
Awakens.
to be like,
Then there was just no connection. Like, I was thinking, oh,
Mhm.
he's gonna like
He was asleep
get
for all the
in
Last
good with
Jedi.
Rey, but like
Yeah.
no. And then they just like hint at it, but nothing ever happens.
And like also for Finn, the thing is that I really hated what they did to him in The Force Awakens was they gave him a lightsaber to use when he's not
yes,
even
why?
like
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like why?
that
Why did they
that
do that?
ruins like the purpose of
Oh,
the
that
Jedi
too.
because the Jedi are someone who's
Yeah.
mystic, very secluded, very powerful, but you just give it to some random citizen. And also
Right.
and just like completely switching gears right now, I just want to pull this out before I say this. I know this might sound really controversial if I say this, but Disney the reason why we have Finn, Rose, Rey, these characters, is because Disney has to meet a quota of I need
Yes.
an African American character, I need a person not African American who's not white, and I need a
And
woman.
we need a female.
Yeah,
yes.
you need a woman. And
I
that's
don't
the
know.
only reason why Rey. I'm pretty sure that is the only reason why Rey was the main character, because she's a woman, and why
Yeah.
Finn is the
Yeah.
like I was like my cousin
Sidekick or
like,
something.
my cousin Mark, who was on this before. Disney is saying that they're not gonna hire. They're gonna start hiring more like colored people and everyone else. Okay, I'm sorry. Colored might be rude to
that's a
say.
good
People
thing.
of African descent. That they're
People
gonna
of color.
people of
Yeah.
color. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't want to get canceled in society. But anyways,
I
they're
mean,
not gonna
why
be
don't you
hiring
just-
white people. They're just not.
I mean, why don't you just hire everyone
I
equally?
feel-
Like, just hire them if they're a good actor. Don't
How
don't
about
worry.
Exactly.
you just like
I
don't
feel-
care what race they are as long as they're a good
Exactly.
actor and they fit the role.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Basically,
The
Disney
only-
added a princess to Star Wars,
Mhm.
and
Never been done before.
oh wow, but it's like
Well, Leia was great, but
yeah,
It
Leia,
was hot, especially in Return of the
Leia-
Jedi.
but Leia like had a purpose. Like she was an anchor to Luke.
She was a good
exactly.
character. She was a
And
strong
then
female character.
Rey is dropped out of nowhere, and we're thinking that Finn is the main character because he's getting the lightsaber. He had a one-on-one duel with a
Yeah.
stormtrooper.
No, and then
They
he got
set him
sliced in
up
the back. He could
perfectly.
have died there.
Like,
They
like
set
He
him
should
up
have died there.
perfectly, and they just
yeah. The thing about Finn was that like they gave him a lightsaber and they hinted like, oh yeah, he's a Force user. Like even the title of the movie, The Force Awakens, that's something Snoke says. Like there's like a scene of
Could have
Finn
been
like,
him.
using the
It
Force or
could have been
something,
him.
and then it cuts to Snoke and he's like, ooh, the Force has awakened. And then like he never uses the Force or does anything Jedi-ish. And it all
Exactly.
goes to Rey. It all
And he
goes
gets
to Rey.
beaten by a stormtrooper with like whatever he was.
He gets beaten by a stormtrooper with anti lightsaber propaganda.
Exactly.
I mean, like later on, they did. One of the creators did say that in multiple TV shows and animations, Finn is Rey's apprentice. Yeah, I
It just
know.
doesn't make any logical sense.
Guys,
know,
guys,
it's
this is our fault because we haven't been reading the fan fiction comics that have been coming out for these.
We haven't been reading the hentai.
Yeah.
Disney has
Whoa.
been putting out shows and cartoons that they say are canon, and it's one of them has Rey training Finn, and everybody, I mean, like everybody who sees this has to be disgusted because that's just like
No. Yeah. No.
And it's
Yeah.
funny because the Clone Wars, like many things in it, were setting up George Lucas's sequel trilogy. And we all know how
yeah.
that works. But yeah, like just going back to the question a bit more on characters and acting. There are no good characters in this movie. Kylo Ren, I feel like he's the closest to one because he actually has like a defined, like he has a defined, like not as stereotypical as
He has
all
the
other
clearest
ones are.
storyline that you can follow and you can relate
He has,
to.
he has a set storyline and origin
Yeah,
that you can relate to.
but
But I think that his character was ruined by Rey. And what I mean by that is the fact that his character was solely based around him being obsessed with Rey and trying he could have been such a better character if they just removed that, I feel like.
yeah.
Then
And,
the
like,
thing is, like, oh, go ahead, Adam.
His change to the light side and the whole like romance with Rey sort of thing. That was all in the last hour of the last movie.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, they
That should have been something that's been taking all over all three movies. And like I the only thing I really liked about Kylo Ren is that at least his story connected back to Luke Skywalker, which
Yeah.
I think is a good thing, and how it connects that big 30-year gap between the original trilogy in these films, which I really
The only
thought was a
thing-
good idea.
The only
Yeah.
thing I like about Kylo Ren is his lightsaber.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty
But-
cool.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's the only like cool new lightsaber they introduced in this entire thing. Like in the prequels, we had Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber. We had Dooku's curved lightsaber. We had
Asajj
Mace Windu's
Ventress.
lightsaber.
Yeah, there's like tons of things we'd never seen before.
Like white
And this time-
lightsabers, yellow lightsabers, you know,
yeah.
even different colors. But this time, but I mean, like, I get it. Like, it's a callback to the original thing, and it kind of ties them together by using Luke's old lightsaber. But then that brings up, how did he find the lightsaber? Didn't it fall off at
Yes.
Bespin or
How,
something?
how
Yeah.
did that happen? Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, we've been taught Kylo Ren's backstory. It shows him killing all of the younglings in the camp. Now, this is another reason why I have a special hatred for this series. So, if you've watched the ending of The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
you know what happens. Luke takes Grogu,
Mhm.
and so assuming
Adopts
that
him.
Luke took Grogu, that would mean Kylo Ren slaughtered Grogu.
No,
and
no, no, no.
all
I
those
was reading
kids.
something about that,
Wouldn't
and people were saying that Grogu probably found his way out of there before then, because keep in mind, this is still like another 5-10 years before that even happens. And
Oh,
also,
yeah.
also the thing is, something talking about Kylo Ren massacring Luke's Jedi temple. That, depending on what movie and what scene you're in, it's either from Luke's perspective or it's from Kylo's perspective, because the one from Kylo's perspective paints Luke as the bad guy and Kylo being like the Jesus and saving everyone quote. And then from Luke's perspective, it's Luke made a bad mistake, which was he, you know, ignited his lightsaber and then it all went to
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. And also, if Kylo had the strength and power to kill dozens of trained Jedi in a temple and beat Luke Skywalker, why?
How can you not beat Rey?
Yeah, exactly. Why is
Yeah.
Rey still?
Because Rey's a
Why is
strong-
Rey still?
Raise a
Rey?
pal. Hey, Chris. Raise a
She's a strong,
Palpatine.
independent woman, guys.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
No, she's a
Yeah.
Palpatine, Luke. She's not a small. Wait, she is a woman.
Oh my god.
But like, that's the thing. Like, there's been like almost every female character in Star Wars has been a strong female character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
what they want-
forced. It
they
wasn't
want is-
forced.
Rey, she has no training or anything. She can fly a ship.
Mm-hmm.
She can wield a lightsaber, use like force abilities that even Anakin, who many people have described to be the most powerful Jedi ever, couldn't do.
Yeah.
And then she can just
Like,
do
I mean,
that in a
like,
couple
Nothing
months.
ever phases her. She flies
it's
through stormtroopers and
actually-
other things like they're nothing.
It's actually like if
Yep.
Leia were to pick up a lightsaber and fight Darth Vader to me and win.
Yeah.
Like that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I just really hated Rey's character, and like
Definitely.
we had
She
no
has
background
personality.
on her,
It was
no
just-
personality, no background. We just don't know anything about her. We don't know why she's this frickin' goddess, and I mean, she just makes no sense overall. And you can't connect to her at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something
And
I
she's-
believe a lot. I mean, like Rey, like
Yeah.
Like I
There
just
are
feel like I was. Oh wait, so I like watched this video of someone like going back to what we were talking about before. Like someone went and was like, Rey, like as a real fight trainer and as a real swordsman, he's like, there is no way someone can be good with a sword doing Japanese style fighting from a staff. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
but guys,
Yeah.
keep in mind, Rey is a strong female role in a blockbuster film, so of course she's gonna have superpowers.
Yeah.
There is some good things about this movie. For example, the new force power, freezing people
Freezing
in
people.
space. When Kylo Ren can like freeze people's movements with the force.
Yeah.
That happened.
That was kind of cool.
That was the
yeah.
Force
Yeah, that
Awakens,
was
you know, when
cool.
Rey's
That
in
was
the
in
forest
Force
running away
Awakens.
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
he's about to explode the planet, you know, in a
And
glorious fashion.
when he throws the bullets and like he throws back blaster bullets in midair,
Exactly.
but couldn't take down a random scavenger with a lightsaber.
Exactly.
No, you mean a strong female scavenger, Chris. Come
A
on,
strong,
come on, dude.
independent female scavenger role model. that
Well, like-
everyone could look up to.
To have a good movie, an interesting movie, you have to have a conflict, and you have to have like.
Rey has a
Like,
conflict with her identity, okay?
But like it's Rey, so like obviously she can never be harmed or like even like
Yeah,
punched
plot
or
armor.
anything. Like you know they're gonna win, and like when what, like I don't even know. These movies are so disorganized. Like
When did Rey
Oh,
get her
I-
hand cut off? What movie? Oh wait, they didn't even use that trope. Like
Exactly.
literally, she didn't get a
the
single limb
only,
cut off.
the only trope that they used is killing younglings. That's the only one that they used.
yeah. And like remember at the end of the Last Jedi when the rebels there was just like the Resistance, there was just like 30 people left, and then
Oh,
the Rise of Skywalker they were like Force again.
Seriously.
can we
Yeah.
speak
How-
about Luke Skywalker or Old Man Luke?
You mean
Okay,
Obi Luke?
Talk about that in a second.
Actor,
Real quick. Like, how cool would it have been to have like a Band of Brothers style, like
Hobbit style, Lord of
Rise
the Rings.
Skywalker. Yeah, with 15 characters from the Resistance trying to like infiltrate the Empire and like or shit
Yeah, basically like a Rogue One
First,
story.
second order. The Third
Yeah.
Reich. Wait. Whoa. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Wrong one. I mean
Oh my God.
Kylo's Reich.
Demonetized.
That's another stupid thing. How they like had to like it's obviously the same as like the Empire and the Rebels and all of that, but because like it is the same thing because they didn't have any original ideas, but they just changed the names of everything. Like you can attribute every character, every organization, every place, everything in the Force Awakens and
Mhm.
basically all the other movies to something in the originals.
Yeah. So
Or-
like, hey guys, welcome back to late night film talks, and this is what we'd be talking about. We're actually talking
Yeah.
about some movie, greatest movie, right? Yeah, that's like me saying that, like, and saying that this is actually an original thing. Late night late night film talks.
That's no talks.
Yes.
Or like Prongles or something. You love to see the Prongles.
Can we talk about Old Man Luke, or is
Go
it
ahead,
just
go ahead. Talk about
Yeah,
all
go
that
ahead. Go ahead.
shit on him as hard as you can.
they took the greatest character in Star Wars ever,
Mhm.
turned him into an old angry hobbit,
Yes.
made him depressed and suicidal,
And gave him titty milk.
put him on an island,
Okay,
made
Misha.
him do one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in a movie, and then somehow just like defeat a whole battalion of the first like that just my brain.
Yeah, like
I think
they
that was
ruined
all of us during those
They
movies.
ruined Luke
Luke Skywalker.
They
I mean,
how
the actor
how do you
himself,
do that?
he's good, but
Yeah.
he wasn't cast, or he wasn't like, the directing on this is, we've already gone over it, it's terrible. Like, Luke Skywalker could have been great, awesome character, but
Dude
now,
could have been like Yoda.
exactly.
Yeah, basically. And like
Yeah.
He
Leia.
probably would have been more powerful than Yoda, but no.
Probably.
I'm
yeah.
gonna go to my island, drink my beer,
No, it's drink the
booby
blue-
milk.
Yeah, booby milk. No, but I mean, okay. Also, let's talk about Yoda while we can talk about Yoda. Like, okay, what did you guys think of Yoda in this series?
Oh,
I mean,
that-
I mean, it was obviously like it was very nostalgic to see Yoda in like puppet,
Yes.
like
I know,
animated.
but that Yoda didn't look right to me.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
they tried to make him look puppety, but it looked too puppety.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
it just
too,
looked.
too flamboyant in a way.
Yeah, I mean, like that Yoda was kind of scary. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that Yoda. It was cool to see him,
Yeah.
but it was just disappointing. Like,
Because obviously,
That-
one
that was
10-minute
what-
segment can't fix the entire thing.
yeah, that was what you showed him for. Like, you could have had him inspire Rey to be something or use her power to something. But you make him talk Luke off the edge?
Yeah.
Like, it's just disrespectful.
I like how everyone's talking about like some George Lucas cut of the Rise of Skywalker, like some cut that's supposedly so much better and fixes the entire trilogy. But like It's the
It's-
same
you can't.
movie. It's not gonna fix shit. Like it's
You
gonna be a
can't
little
fix
different.
it.
They're like, oh wow, because there's gonna be more Force ghosts than just Luke and Leia. It's gonna save Star Wars, guys. Like
No, Star Wars was saved when Disney bought it. Disney is Jesus, if you didn't know.
Also,
Disney is Jesus in the Passion of Christ, and everyone else is everyone's opinion of Disney.
yeah, I'm another thing I'm confused about with the characters is Leia. So
Yeah, she did nothing.
near the end, it was revealed that Leia was training to the Jedi, and it was kind of shown before in the Last Jedi.
I mean, it's
She
an
could use the
interesting
Force.
idea. Like,
Yeah, but like,
but
I mean, that was always intended by George Lucas, but like they forced that so hard.
they forced
they
it.
could, they forced it very hard.
Wait, with the Force?
They could have used, like her being a Jedi. They could have used. Okay, so if she is a Jedi, why is she sitting there?
And
Like, why is she sitting there on a chair just watching soldiers die? Like, she could have
because
been
she
out.
had a bad experience in training camp, so she quit. Because Leia's not a
Yeah.
strong female character anymore. She's old and frail and dead.
Yeah.
No
Wait,
offense to
wait.
Carrie Fisher.
Nothing the whole time.
They
You're
ruined
there,
Fisher, yeah.
so many
like,
characters.
oh yeah, I know her. Like, wow, what a good movie she's in it.
The only good character that survived is Chewie. And
Yes.
that's only because
He
they
did
can't do anything to him because you can hardly understand what he's saying.
Exactly.
I think he
No,
had
they
like
ruined C-3PO when they like wiped his brain in the last movie. Like,
Oh, they did do that.
ten-
That was
And then
so
they gave,
dumb.
and then they gave R2D2 PTSD.
10-year-old
Yeah.
Anakin programming the Sith language into C-3PO.
How,
yeah,
yo.
like
Also, since when is there like a Sith language? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was not well.
That was
That
weird.
was shown before.
I think that existed. I'm pretty sure that existed
I'm
before.
guessing.
That's
Yeah,
you can see
weird.
Sith language on Dooku's clothing.
You can also like see it in the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game. That's canon, so it existed.
Canon.
Oh yeah, that's a good game. Good game.
You can see it in Star Wars Rebels canon.
Oh, on like the holocrons.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, there's the thing. You don't have to agree with everything, but you can admit that there was a purpose and a story to everything that came before Disney.
Yeah.
Like-
Whoa, wait. Star Wars Rebels was like,
Well,
Yeah.
that was Disney, but that was people
No,
who
but-
cared about Star Wars had something to do with that.
yeah.
so was Star
I
Rebels
feel
Wars
wasn't
like,
as
Clone
bad.
Wars,
Rebels is
yeah,
not as
dude,
bad as
George-
people
was
say.
good.
Clone Wars was
exactly.
George
I feel like if they
Lucas'
made,
like, he had some sway in the Clone Wars.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was his intention. But I can't explain enough how they ruin the. Okay, here I'm just gonna summarize characters and acting, and we'll move on. All of the characters from the previous movies, they ruin those characters. Anything
Yeah.
you thought about them, that's done now.
yes,
Then they introduce new characters to.
Ahsoka dead.
That don't mean anything.
You can barely call them characters because they have very little personality.
What
They
is Rose's purpose?
And then
Why is she here?
She's a
They
quota.
just plopped her in there. They just
Throw
made
away.
her. Yeah.
in the next movie,
What?
they throw away all of those characters except Rey.
What did she even do?
And then in the next movie, they throw away all those characters and introduce new characters. But guess what? It's the last movie, and they're only there for like 30 minutes.
Exactly, and they don't mean anything.
We have
Yeah.
been talking about how like they ruin characters, but there are some good characters.
Which ones?
I like Poe Dameron. I like him.
He was cool.
Poe is kind of like the
Cool.
comedic relief character.
Yeah, he was.
Han Solo.
He was kind of like
And, like,
what he was like what Han Solo was in like the original film.
So he's discount Han Solo. But I mean, like, the
yeah,
thing
he's
is, like,
Not Han Solo.
he's budget.
That's a perfect
Budget
analysis.
Han Solo.
if you really think about it, though, like Poe could have been replaced by various like side characters or unnamed characters. Like he did nothing that was specific to him or really important to him, and that's where you really draw the line between a good and important character and one that isn't. Poe could have been cut out of this movie.
Mhm.
And it wouldn't have
Finn
made a
could have been
difference.
cut out. Rose could have been cut out, and nothing would have changed. I'm not saying I don't like those characters. Like I really like Finn, but they did nothing with him to the point where he's not even. He has no point.
John Boyega literally got so pissed off at Disney. John Boyega got really pissed off at Disney because they're like, what the hell did you do to my character?
Exactly.
What the hell
I
did you
mean,
do to
the
Star
Yeah,
Wars?
they could have done something so great with him, I think. I mean,
I mean, my favorite characters in this were Chewie, the Porgs. The Porgs just brought the whole movie together. Like, they brought life in the movie. Like, without the Porgs,
They brought a
the movie
lighthearted.
it just shouldn't have existed without the Porgs.
Yeah.
And then Babu Frick.
Babu Frick. He was cool.
Babu Frick.
He was cool.
I mean,
Who's
Best
Babu?
character
Wait,
in the
who's
movie
Babu
by
Frick?
far. Best character.
The
by
guy who
far.
fixed 3PO. He was the little dude who fixed 3PO.
stupid filler.
Babu Frick. Best character by far.
Lions are
Comedic
If you
relief.
say anything,
just a tiny alien that like walked around and squealed.
He's comedic relief. And
he
Sure.
was
Comedic relief
It
from
was
the
brilliant.
super distressing and emotional Star Wars sequels.
yep.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, the
That's
first step to developing good film is having meaningful characters, and I know we've said this a lot. You just don't have that at all in any of these movies. It's just
I think
It's just
the first
sad.
step is to have an idea.
to have a plan, like to have a plan for like what's ahead instead of just kind of making it up as you go. It's just terrible.
I mean,
Sad.
yeah, these movies are just utter disappointments to the Star Wars franchise. I mean, they could have done so many great things with them, and they didn't.
Yeah, and
Right.
another thing, I was disappointed. Like, am I the only one who kind of thought, like, in the beginning, I was like, okay, cool, we got two new characters, Rey and Finn. I kind of wanted them to like get together
Yes.
because it's obvious that Finn likes Rey. I mean,
Obviously,
Yeah.
dude is a giant
Obviously.
simp. I'm like rooting for the man. I'm hoping he pulls.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all of a sudden, Rose drops out of the sky from nowhere, and then Finn just completely forgot about Rey and is liking Rose now. But then he also likes Rey still. But Rey is over here kissing Ben.
Yeah.
It was
And
Ben.
this is what we were talking about last time, where all the main Star Wars female characters like the sociopath males.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna,
So sexy and attractive when you
Are we-
kill
are we-
little people.
are we gonna talk about the fact that Finn was about to save the Resistance and sacrifice himself very nobly?
Exactly.
And then
yeah.
Rose.
Just
Oh
fucking
my
comes
God.
out of nowhere,
Rose just
just
messed
knocks
it
him
up.
out of the beam, and
That would have been a good way to end
This
the character.
Disney made it seem like it was such a happy moment, but when you think about it, her doing that literally cost hundreds of soldiers' lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Exactly.
okay though because the Resistance is unexplicably back to full strength in the next movie.
Oh,
Even though, like,
Yeah,
all
there's so many
forces
things
got destroyed.
that you just can't follow in this trilogy, even if you tried.
the last thing I'm going to say about the characters from this movie, because like I'm honestly, it just makes me mad.
Mhm.
The ending where Ben dies. It went from Rey dying to Ben saving Rey to Ben dying to Rey saving Ben to Ben just finally dying. I'm like, it's just like they just kept like they couldn't decide. They kept going back and forth just to fill up the like last 20 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was just
and like there's that one dream scene in The Force Awakens where it's like foreshadowing like the next two movies. They're gonna be like, ooh, Kylo Ren betrays the Knights of Ren, which we don't see like ever in.
yeah. We never
last
saw
hour.
the Knights of Ren.
No,
we-
in last
We
hour.
barely saw them. We saw them
they
for like
were
10 minutes in the last
I know.
movie.
You're like, in
Yeah.
They were dope. They were dope
Like-
too. Like if
Those
they
are
would have had.
cool. Yeah.
most of the things that happened in the foreshadowing vision never actually happened, and
They were
if they did, they didn't happen like they did in the Vision.
They
So
were
that
like
was stupid.
the Knights of Ren were like the Inquisitors from Star Wars Rebels. That like the Knights of Ren, if they had them in the movie would probably be so much better.
They weren't explained
Yeah.
at all.
I mean, they would like how Darth Maul was in the prequels. They had multiple villains: Darth Maul, General Grievous, Dooku, but they only had one in the sequels, and it was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
He wasn't even really committed to being like a good villain.
Yeah. And like, yeah, it's so stupid. That's like as much as I can say.
I'm so mad at these
Let's move on
movies.
to question 3 of 12.
We're only on question 3.
Yeah, we're 45
Yeah.
minutes in.
What the
I mean,
heck?
there's just so much
We
to
have
talk
plenty
about.
to say about this. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot to say. But let's move on to dialogue. There were no iconic lines in this entire trilogy.
Pretty
It's
cringy.
not-
Oh, wait,
most
wait.
of the
Can
time.
I say something about that first?
Except somehow Palpatine returned because it's the stupidest line
Oh.
ever. we don't know how. Nobody knows how because nobody planned it. But somehow
Yeah.
Palpatine returned.
Oh,
I
wait,
mean,
Adam, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
The only line that I could enjoy about this, like these movies, they included "I've got a bad feeling about this" in every single Star Wars
yeah,
movie.
they
The
did.
only thing I can appreciate.
Well, these weren't Star Wars movies, so
But they're
that's,
barely Star Wars movies. Yeah.
there are 6 Star Wars movies that I know of. Oh, there's also
Yeah, these
Rogue
are
One and
just-
Solo. Those are fine.
Rogue One was
Yeah.
good, yeah. Solo was like, eh.
Yeah.
Solo was
Mhm.
Solo was
Solo
pointless.
could have been better.
Enjoyable.
Solo could definitely have been better. Yeah.
At least it wasn't a disappointment, though. At least it was actually a film
Yeah.
you could sit through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked what they were setting up with Amelia Clark's character. Fuck, I forgot her name.
Rose.
No,
Oh,
the
no, Jen.
Harry's
Jen.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's her
Jen.
name. Jen.
Yeah.
Oh no
The one in
but-
Solo.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I know who you're talking. I don't remember her name. But wait, I look her up.
Yeah,
Solo,
with her and Darth Maul.
Star
That
Wars.
was-
Her
I want
name's
to know more about that.
her name is
Amelia Clark, I think.
yeah, Amelia Clark. She plays Kira.
Kira. Yeah.
Yeah, but I liked what they were setting up with her and Darth Maul.
That was cool.
They went nowhere with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have plenty of opportunity to do
They
that.
could still do another spin-off movie that
Yeah.
involves something like that.
But like, okay. Here's another thing I want to talk about. They're turning Star Wars into the Marvel Cinematic Universe with all this new Disney Plus shit. But like, they've killed Star Wars. Like, they should just be done with it. Like, I mean,
I think they should
I
do.
mean, but I do
Like,
love the
I think-
Mandalorian though.
Mandalorian was good.
But the thing about the Mandalorian, why it's good is it's such a departure from Star Wars, and the only thing it carries that's similar was Jedis. Jedis. I really thought the first season of Mandalorian was so good because it was literally just old Western, but it just happened to be in a
Yeah.
Star Wars movie. That's the
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Mandalorian's
I mean-
interesting.
Mhm.
But like they just like announced like 10 new Star Wars shows, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited!" But like, I was kind of pissed actually. Like, I don't want that. Like, they're just draining money out of Star Wars. They're milking it for all it's worth. Like, what happened to Star Wars just being like a solid like group of movies, like an actual artistic vision? Now they just want money out of it. Like, it's sickening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, The Mandalorian's fine. Like,
The Mandalorian was
but
dope.
it's
to me.
not amazing. Like, it's
It's not.
I mean, I think the reason the Mandalorian is so enjoyable,
Because
is
it's so
that
different from the sequels.
it doesn't even try to be Star Wars like the sequels do. It's its own unique thing, and I kind of like that about it.
Yeah.
It's different.
It is a new vision, it is a new plan.
It doesn't follow a Jedi like most of them do. It just follows this one this one bounty hunter, and the bounty hunter is like this weird, awkward Mandalorian who doesn't follow the rules. Dude, I I think the Mandalorian did what this sequel should have. Brought back characters that everyone wanted to see. Boba Fett,
Ahsoka.
Yeah, I mean,
Ahsoka.
I like the Mandalorian, but like at the end of the day, it's not anything that I would have like really missed if they never made it. It's not like super amazing or revolutionary. It's like it's stuff that's been done before, and like I don't feel like Star Wars needs that.
You're
I
telling
feel
me
like
you will not miss Baby Yoda.
Star Wars is
Yeah.
a complete story now, but like you could add a sequel trilogy, and like that's like based on what George Lucas was planning. I think he had a good idea to add more, but like beyond that, like it shouldn't. I don't
Okay, Adam,
feel
I
like
think the point you're trying to get at is the Clone Wars and Rebels make sense because they
Yeah.
fill in gaps. They fill in
Yeah.
gaps that were
Yeah.
purposely made by George Lucas so he could create those things. The Mandalorian, it fits in the timeline, obviously, but it doesn't fill any unanswered
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah,
That's
and, like-
why it's unnecessary, but it's still cool to have.
It's still cool. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
of the things that they did do that I kind of thought, well, it could lead to something. Baby Yoda, what are they going to do with that? I mean, they set up.
Hey,
Yes,
hold
of
up. Can you just make sure not to include any spoilers? Because I'm like,
Kinda
I've
already
barely started The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna.
I mean,
But they set up this.
like
Even though he could use the Force, he's basically Yoda, but tiny and cute, and not
Mhm.
scary and weird. But
Yoda's not
It's like-
scary.
on sequels, Yoda is. That Yoda was
He's
like
weird.
on crack. That Yoda was on crack.
Yes,
ketamine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's such an accurate description.
that Yoda
Yeah.
was trying to pull his own eyes out. He was just weird. But this Yoda is like cute, and he has Force powers. It's not like a big spoiler, but one of the scenes, Yoda is freaking destroying these stormtroopers, like with ease. Like, I feel like if they had a character like Baby Yoda in the sequels, I don't know. I feel like maybe it would be better. But yeah, I wish Baby Yoda was in the sequel.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
It obviously wouldn't fix
I
it.
don't
It would just be kind of like a cherry. It would be a cherry on top of a plate.
Roadkill.
Yeah.
A really bad
Cherry
plate.
on top of fresh roadkill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rotten flesh.
Rotten flesh, as some might say.
I mean, so you guys are telling me that you don't want to see Baby Yoda with a miniature lightsaber?
That would be cool. I
wouldn't
agree.
fix it.
Come on, man.
It wouldn't fix
Okay,
the
so
sequel.
It wouldn't fix it, but I just want to see it. I want it to happen.
if anyone
need
at Disney, if
I
anyone
need
at
it.
would have read George Lucas's script, Baby Yoda could have actually been in the sequels, because like if let's say they did make the Mandalorian as well to tie in with the sequels, and
Ahsoka could have been in the sequels, bruh.
Oh,
yeah, it would
that'd
be
be cool.
focusing on. I mean, she probably would have been, because she was a character
Yeah.
that George Lucas himself designed. Like I mean, she
It
obviously
has
had
so
a
much
purpose. We
potential.
don't know what that purpose is. I mean, she
Yeah.
had some good stuff in the Clone Wars, but I feel like he would have tied that in to the sequels in some way.
It would have been
But-
so cool. Yeah.
But going back to this, like Grogu could have been in the sequels, because it was going to be about like Luke Skywalker and his new Jedi Academy and all that, and just like him like reforming the Jedi and just like finding out like new stuff about the Force and the Wills, and just like a spiritual journey, you know?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
the
and-
new,
Like that could have been so cool. That could have been so cool.
yeah.
And my eyes have kind of been opened about this whole series, like Star Wars and stuff. I noticed they always talk about balance in the Force.
Yeah.
And it's always the Jedi talking about balance in the Force, and they say they're gonna create balance in the Force by getting rid of the Sith.
Wait, okay. I know what you're gonna say. We have
Mhm.
questions later that pertain to that, so let's
Yeah.
save that.
We'll
Yeah.
save that for later. Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that is probably one of the things that pisses me off the most about the sequels. Like,
Yeah.
but aside from that, like I didn't hate the sequels until like I read, like ignoring that fact there, because that is a big thing for me. but I really started to hate the sequels when I read like the basic outline. Like we still don't know a lot, but like the very basic stuff about what George Lucas had intended for the sequels, and it sounds so good and so interesting. And to think that they would throw that away, it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
It really is.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, obviously they think that like they want to appeal to the stupid modern audience that like can't enjoy anything that requires actual intelligence to enjoy.
Yeah.
So they make the sequels we have today. But in reality, it's Star Wars. The people that enjoy Star Wars are intelligent people. So it's so stupid. It's so stupid. They, assuming they didn't burn the original scripts, they probably have them. So I think it'd be amazing if they would just like retcon the sequels and make actual good ones. Obviously, we couldn't have Leia there. Leia was going to be a big part of the sequels. Maybe she'd be recast, like, which I don't know how I'd feel about that, but
Yeah.
There's still a chance. Well, most of the actors are still alive. Like, there's still a chance. Like, I hope so much that this happens.
It might not happen because I don't think Harrison Ford
Wants to do
Or,
another
the
Star
dude
Wars
doesn't
movie.
want to
or
do
Mark
Star Wars
Hamilton,
anymore.
they
He's done with
don't. He
it.
doesn't. He's sick of it.
The thing is, if George Lucas comes back, I mean, I feel like that might
You
convince them.
might convince them.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
if they know it's an actual, like, they don't want to do it. Like, all of none, like, even the sequel actors, like John Boyega, like, all of them, they don't want to do more Star Wars movies.
Yeah,
more
they're talented
Star Wars.
actors. They're
It
just
was-
not directed.
Bad.
Nobody involved with the sequels wants to make Star Wars because they all hated it so much. They hated the sequels. Nobody likes the sequels except the Kathleen Kennedy and her stupid ass
And
Star Wars.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You could just tell
No,
that
no,
the
no,
actors.
it's
You could just
more
tell that their.
Ryan Johnson.
You could just tell that their hearts just weren't in it really, and that.
Yeah, they weren't. They wanted money. That's it. That is it.
Yeah.
Someone that
weren't
cared about Star
invested.
Wars was in charge of Lucasfilm, and that was George Lucas. And the reason he sold Star Wars is because everyone hated the prequels, but now everyone's realized
Everybody loves the prequels now.
I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't everyone, but like there was a small little group of people. They were like, "Oh, the prequels are so terrible. They're different than the originals," and that just like ruined it for him. So he sold it to Disney. But like George Lucas, we love you, man. We love the prequels. Please come back.
But I
Because-
bet
I mean,
you in
there's
the future there's
obviously-
people gonna be like, well, we can appreciate the sequels because they're
No.
actually good. No, but they aren't, because the thing
No,
is they
they
don't
don't
tell a
have-
cohesive story. The thing about the prequels is they actually told something that filled in the gaps of the
original trilogy.
original trilogy, and they actually like not continued but prequeled a story and actually told about it, because it's like, well, fans probably want to know about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything was just so solid in the prequels. Like the story that it worked together with the original trilogy to just form. It was just really great in my opinion. The characters, you could tell they were in it. Acting was really, really solid. And then the sequels, you just have none of that. Everything's just abandoned.
They're just
and
completely
thrown on the ground.
disjointed. Like,
I
they're
know, it's
disjointed from themselves, and they're disjointed from the rest of all the other movies. They just don't
Yeah.
make
It's just-
sense in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
it's just all together, just
it's
disjointed.
very
It's
stupid.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on to the next question: visual effects, because I know this
Oh
is getting
yeah.
really long. But yes, so the visual effects in this movie, they were adequate. Like there was nothing super amazing or super like wow, just mind blowing. Like yeah,
It's just an improvement
Yeah.
on what happened in the prequels. It's like you can obviously see the technological progression from original to prequel to sequel, and it's like, well, obviously it's going to be on par because Disney's hiring the Lucasfilm company that handles, they're hiring their own people who do that, and they're also probably hiring ILM, which I think is also owned by Lucas. So, you know, they have their own people working on it, so of course it's going to be up to their own standards.
Yeah,
and what they want.
Thing is, the visuals, they're adequate. Like, it's what, like, this is the sort of thing that you expect from a movie today. If it's worse than this, like, you get mad. Like, this is the bare minimum. It's not like, you know, interstellar level, like, black hole effects, but I mean, it's fine. It serves its purpose. I mean, it's what
I can't hate on the VFX. I mean, I thought it was pretty solid. I mean,
yeah, I'm not hating.
Yeah, obviously, but a lot of the young, I guess we're young viewers, but a lot of more modern film audiences, if you know what I'm saying, I mean, good VFX is like one of the main selling points of movies nowadays, and I think that you really have to have it, and I think that's one thing that this movie did have, but you kind of had to have it.
It's expected. I wouldn't really call it.
It's expected.
I just think it's like if you don't have it, no one's gonna watch it. That's just it.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. Kylo Ren's lightsaber, pretty cool looking. Gotta say that. I thought like the red stormtroopers or whatever they're called, they looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
But like
guards.
It's nothing that blows you away. It can't like fix any.
Like the guys in the throne room, those guys were cool.
Those were cool looking, but
their
they
fight
were
choreography wasn't.
Like the battle was terrible. If you like watch it like closely.
That was the best battle in the whole sequence.
Yeah, that was actually
the best battle of the whole.
Good
but that doesn't say
fight
anything
scene.
good about it. Literally the entire time, there's like in the background, because the fight choreography was so off, they were just flipping in random places and falling over when no one was even hitting them.
I mean, yeah, but it's still the best.
Yeah, it's literally still the best fight scene, and that's saying something. Like that's.
Whoa! What about Rey
Rey
versus the air?
No, and it's what's sad about it is they spent months in choreography getting that down, but it still was bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was like every single fight in the prequels is better than that, but like
yes,
the best out of the sequel trilogy, and like the Praetorian, I'm pretty sure they're called Praetorian Guards. I remember that I was like super interested in them.
They weren't even good.
I mean, there's no backstory there. I don't even know what Praetorian means, but I know they're called that. Like they look cool.
They look cool, but they suck.
It's a cool fight scene. Like, I mean, if you walk into some action movie and just like watch it, like you're not gonna be like, ooh, super moving film, but like, yeah, cool fight scene.
I mean, it was interesting, but a dude, if you watch it like really closely, a dude literally throws his weapon away and gets stabbed in the chest.
Yeah, that was pretty lame.
Yeah.
And then what's the dude doing? There's one of the dudes who's got like the two little short sticky things.
He could have stabbed Rey so many times.
He's not even fighting.
He could have stabbed her.
Just waiting.
She would have been dead.
Like do his thing.
Standing around. I mean, it looked cool.
It looked cool, but it's bad. It wasn't a good fight scene.
Yeah, it wasn't, but like it was visually cool.
I'll give it that. That's the only thing.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We went from the fight scenes in the Revenge of the Sith between Anakin and Obi-Wan. That legendary fight scene.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Legendary. Oh, just gorgeous.
Definitely.
To Rey and Kylo Ren having a fight that looked like two toddlers who picked up sticks, who were trying to play tag with each other. Mm-hmm. Like that was just, it was just terrible. That was, I feel like.
Two random things I want to talk about. One, why are they calling it like they're calling it like the Skywalker saga now because they want to try to like connect the sequel trilogy to the other movies because they know there's no connection. Like
They killed
Star
all
Wars
of the Skywalkers.
Stop calling it the Skywalker saga. Like, fuck off.
They need to. It's just. They need
in
to stop.
second-
Well, I was on Disney Plus and it said that this was the Skywalker saga, so get your shit straight, Adam. Okay.
And second, it pissed me off so much that for each movie, at least one trailer had they were teasing Dark Rey, but when it's actually in the movie, she picks up Kylo Ren's lightsaber for 2 seconds, or it's a dream sequence, and they're like, "Ooh, Dark Rey, guys, ooh," and
Then they're like, "Just kidding, nope."
2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's the most dumb clickbaity bullshit. But it's $1 million, multi-million-dollar movie, billion-dollar franchise, and they're clickbaiting us like it's a YouTube video. Fuck off.
I know,
Yeah.
I was genuinely super excited to hear that. Ooh, another Star Wars trilogy. Let's go.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
hyped.
I was so happy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I as I said in the prequel video, I was raised on Star Wars, and I remember being 3, and I was like, "Dad, when is there gonna be a new Star Wars movie?" And he'd always be like, "Ooh, in a couple years." Then 10 years down the road, still hadn't happened. And I was like, 2015, Star Wars trailer comes out, and I'm like, "Oh!" And it turned out to be this. So.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I watched Force Awakens. It was for Nick Haller's birthday party, which is a friend of ours. We went to the movies. We watched it. It was in 3D. It was dope. I remember instantly. There wasn't even the normal song. It was just and then you instantly hear a Star Destroyer just jump out of hyperspace.
Which movie? Which one?
Force Awakens.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they played the original Star Wars theme for that one.
Oh yeah, they did, but
they only do it on the
Skywalker
They just change it on the spin-off ones,
yeah.
Solo and Rogue One. They did a different theme.
It was just, I don't know. I at that moment I kind of knew something was weird because the transition didn't seem normal. But then I watched the whole thing and I kind of thought it was cool. And then it got to the end where Finn just got bodied, and then I was upset for a whole week. Mad.
Yeah.
Mad that I went to that birthday party. Yeah, it was
All right, let's
moving
move
on
on
to the next question.
Next question. So pacing, this one there's not a lot of weight to it. It was paced normally. It was paced like the average modern era movie is paced.
Yes.
Which is absolute
Not too
middle
fast.
ground.
Yeah, it's not too fast. Not too. I mean, you can understand the speed is where you can tell what's going on in the story, but can you actually tell what's going on in the story? No.
No.
No, 'cause none of it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell what's going on, but at the same time, you don't know why any of it's happening.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand what's happening. You just don't understand why and how.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because they don't do a good thing explaining new things. When the big cruiser goes through Snoke's Star Destroyer and kills all of the ships. How's that even possible?
That was kinda cool.
It was cool looking, but they don't explain it at all.
Oh, I forgot all about that. I think I just wiped that out my memory. They ruined hyperspace.
Cool, but how is that possible?
I mean,
They don't do anything to explain that.
They actually ruined hyperspace.
Yeah, they did. They definitely-
How do you do that?
Yeah, it's
You
you're
beat
supposed
Disney. That's
to
how you ruin it.
when Han Solo in the originals, it's we need time to run the calculations for the jump to
Exactly,
hyperspace.
because they needed space. Otherwise, they would die. Any impact they would
Exactly.
just die.
I love how they did that in The Last Jedi. with like they were like they had like ooh hyperspeed tracking now, like we can find them. And then the Rise of Skywalker, they're just like, yeah, we'll just do it a bunch of times and they'll get confused and then they can't find us.
Yeah,
They found their own plot hole and then put it in the movie.
exactly. And then also like I know this is like a smaller thing, but like the light speed skipping thing that
That's what I was saying.
yeah. Yeah, that was like yeah.
Come on, guys, we're almost out of coaxium. We're gonna die.
All right, let's move on to plot structure.
Can we talk?
This one, yeah, sure.
Can we talk about bypassing the compressor? Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Please no.
Please? No? Okay. Just wanted to
All right,
point that out.
but moving on to plot structure, there is none.
Yeah.
If you here, how to draw the line. If you would like to draw like a plot structure for this line, take like your head. So take like, you know how you have like your original Apple headphones that come with your phone or whatever, or if you have an iPhone.
Wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, wait 5 minutes, put them in your pocket, and then you pull them out. That is actually the storyline. It's a one big tangled mess.
Yeah, but not like in a complex Inception way. In like,
The
what the fuck are we
confusing
doing? We
complex.
didn't plan this way. Like,
It's a tangled mess, but
this is the sequel trilogy.
It's not all connected. Some ends are cut off and separated from each other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Force Awakens is a standalone New Hope copy. There is nothing new or different in this movie. It is just a complete ripoff of Star Wars. The Last Jedi is the only interesting or unique sequel trilogy movie. It's the best out of the three. Rian Johnson, well, he didn't have a good plan. He actually had a plan. He had an idea. He wanted to take it somewhere.
It wasn't a good idea though.
Yeah,
No,
it wasn't a good idea, but it was the only unique and different sequel movie. Therefore, it was the best out of the three. It was the only one that actually had a story that hadn't been done before and was interesting. Like, it wasn't good. Like, I don't agree with a lot of the things he did, like Broom Boy and all that shit. But
Yeah, Broom Boy. Oh my God, I forgot about this.
yeah, I like how they're like throwing out Star Wars trilogies to anyone who asks. They're like, more money, sure. Broom Boy trilogy, you got it.
Yeah.
Very true.
Dude just all of a sudden casually just calls a broom to his hand, and we're just expected to skip over that and act like none of that happened?
No, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Disney greenlit a Broom Boy trilogy. That's something we're going to be seeing in
Are
the
you
next
serious?
few
I'm
years.
not watching.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna watch them. That's just dumb.
but the thing is that like it wasn't good, but at least it was different. Like I think I said this like in some conversation. I don't know if we were recording or not, but some conversation before. But I value uniqueness in a movie. If you just make a ripoff of something else, like regardless of if it's good or not, like that's stupid. Don't do that. Like the Force Awakens was a straight ripoff, and the Rise of Skywalker was just like I don't know, but like there was nothing unique there. But The Last Jedi, like it actually tried to be unique, and I respect it. It wasn't like it did terrible things with the characters that we know and love, and it didn't do anything good with new characters, and there was a lot of stupid shit. But I kind of like it was an enjoyable experience. It wasn't. I hate it a lot, and it wasn't a good movie, but it was like an enjoyable theater experience, you know? Like it wasn't like I enjoyed it like I would enjoy a Fast and Furious movie. It's like turn off your brain and just like watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like and see, that's what Star Wars has become, and it's pitiful and sad.
Yeah.
Like the originals and prequels were like new, interesting sci-fi. Like this is Star Wars reinvented the sci-fi genre for like a more like modern time. Like nothing like Star Wars had ever been done before. It was so unique and different. And George Lucas had a vision. He had an idea. And the sequel trilogy is just turning it all into like turn off your brain, just like don't think about it sort of thing. And that's stupid. And I hate it. I hate it so much. These are the
it's
worst
kind of how
movies ever made for that single
It's
reason.
kind of the way that movies are trending nowadays.
The
Like,
modern
it is.
trend.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is, and it's terrible. It's
because
stupid.
people
yeah.
want to sit down and turn off their brain, and I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Pretty much
more of
King
a
Kong
sucker
for Godzilla
for
anyway.
those like more thought-heavy movies with these nice complex storylines.
We're
And you
just
had a bit
losing
of
them.
that in some of
It's so sad.
the original
taking-
Star Wars episodes.
they're
but
taking
they
the
just
art
took all
out of
that
film.
away.
Yes.
It's just
Yeah.
about money. It's just about money now.
Mm-hmm.
But every once in a while, you see those people like Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve. I probably pronounced that wrong. And even Quentin Tarantino, he's still gonna make one more movie. But those people who actually like enjoy film and want to make good movies, but like it's so hard to find that now. And I feel like Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
it's had to change with the times. Well, it doesn't have to, and it
It
shouldn't
doesn't have to, but it
did.
just did. Yeah.
It did. And
Did
like,
what every other movie
it's
did.
not like it's changing with the times in an understandable way like the originals to prequels did. It's just bad now. It's just
Yes, it's just.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like with
I
Yeah.
one
I
of the
mean,
things. One of
It
the
used
things
to
I
be
always
like there used to be a standard for Star Wars movies, but
For movies,
now
it's
that
gone.
standard has just been obliterated. Is it gone?
one of the things I always say whenever I'm like, oh, this movie sucks, or whatever, and people are like, it's all about what you think about the movie. No, it's not.
No.
To a certain extent, a movie is just good.
You can
or
have your own
bad. There's
opinion,
a
but
lot.
like
beyond that,
standards for movies have gone down. Yeah.
yeah, it's the same with music and books and everything. You can like rap or rock music or pop music or whatever. That's opinion. But there's still quality. You have to understand that there's a difference in quality between all
Yeah.
kinds of music.
Yeah,
What
because
you
everything
like-
has its own separate things that like you can attribute to it, and that makes it unique.
For sure. It's liking something and something being a good movie. That's only half your opinion. Like there's
Yeah.
also quality. You have to think about quality, and people don't. They just don't. It's very sad what this world has become.
So right now, guys, I'm actually looking at the Rotten Tomatoes ratings for the 3 of these episodes, and I'm confused. The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi both have at least a 90% Rotten
Because
Tomatoes.
Luke, don't look, Luke, listen, don't look, hey guys, Luke, don't look at Rotten Tomatoes, because Rotten Tomatoes is only for like reviewers, and the thing is, Disney can pay reviewers to get good reviews on the movie. You have to look at audience score. Audience score is really what you want to look at. Metacritic.
Audience, that's 2.4. Okay, that sounds about right.
It's really funny. It's really funny because Disney does pay everyone.
Yeah,
they
that's
just
just
pay
a
off
reflection,
everyone to
like,
give their movies good ratings. Like, there's no way that over 20% of people would give it a positive rating. Like
The Last Jedi, audience rating 2.4, Rotten Tomatoes 90%. That just says something.
yeah. So I want to take a minute to go off topic here. There's this show I really love. It's been on since 1963 called Doctor Who. And it has gone through a transition in the past 5 years, exactly the same as Star Wars. The quality has just fallen off. Like there was a transition in 2017 to all new production team, all new writers, all new directors, and then the character is played by a bunch of different actors, and it's hard to explain. But essentially, everything was wiped clean, and everyone working on it was new. And in 2017, they went for the diversity and everything, but the story was terrible, and the characters were terrible. And the same thing happened to it as happened to Star Wars. And I think with Star Trek 2, I haven't seen any of the newer Star Trek stuff.
I have.
So I wouldn't know.
Well, no, because what they did with the new show is, again, they're just trying to meet quotas where it's like they're just like shoving like all these like transgender like gay characters down your throat. Like, it doesn't serve anything to the plot. Like, I get it, they're trying to make like they're trying to show that like, oh, we want to have different characters except white people. But the thing is, like, if you just shove it down your throat just because you need to have it, or else your show's not going to be put on the air, It's just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we're not saying they're bad. It's just like you're just putting it in there just to have it.
no, you're
like,
putting it in there to show that you're
It's just that
inclusive.
there.
every once in a while I'll be watching a show or a movie and there'll be like a gay character and like they actually do it well and I'm like, that's how you do it. But everyone just thinks that it has to be like a whole plot point.
You just have to have diversity.
Like,
Yeah,
just having diversity, that's good. You don't have to make the whole thing diversity. But like
Having diversity does not
going
make
back
a
to
movie.
Doctor Who, it gets really, really high ratings. It always has. But for the newer one of the newer seasons where like it had like gone down in quality like Star Wars, the Rotten Tomatoes rating was 97. And who wants to guess what the audience rating was?
2.7.
13%.
2.9.
Dang.
13%.
97 to 13%. Like it's like just be an honest reviewer, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Really not.
Yeah.
But yes.
I mean, actors should be casted because they're good actors, not.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to the diversity thing, that's just one thing that just really annoys me. It's just.
And like I was looking at a like 100 greatest shows of all time list, and Doctor Who was on that list. and there was like a blurb for like why it was the greatest show of all time, and it like gave a quote from the show that was about diversity, and it's like really like it's not talking about like anything at all about the show. It's just the whole blurb on why it was like on this quote greatest shows of all time list was because it was diverse. Like, come on, guys. Like, if that isn't sad, I don't know what is.
Forced diversity is just one of the things you really hate to see in movies. I mean, if it's natural and you don't,
that's good.
They just gotta put it in there well.
Sure, it's amazing, but like it's like
you can't just throw it in there and expect it to be good.
The funny thing about Doctor Who though was that it's always been a very progressive show. Like even like back in the 80s. But like they're forcing it in now. Like it's always had diversity, but now they're just
people haven't realized that yet.
Shoving it down your throats.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like adding tons of characters. It's interesting. Yeah. And like I know. Let's not talk about Doctor Who anymore. Let's focus on Star Wars.
What's left of it.
Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's talk about cinematography.
So Misha,
take it away.
Okay, so I mean,
Yeah.
it was average. I mean, it did the job. I mean, like you have like this movie was shot digitally, obviously, because they don't know how to shoot these movies on films. I mean, they could have, like Christopher Nolan still shoots his movies on films. So I'm pretty sure Tarantino does like to do that too, but
I think they did well.
it did the job. Well. It did the job. The camera work did the job, but the problem is it was very copying. Like a lot of the camera shots, like literally the opening shot of Force Awakens is. I was like, wait, did they put on A New Hope? What?
Yeah.
It's like there's just a lot of repetitive camera. Like, I mean, obviously because like they have to keep within Star Wars stuff, and the transitions between scenes are really nice, a nice thing to have. But it's just like sometimes like literally you're like copying a shot, like you're copying a scene shot for shot, and it's just so dumb and it's just bad.
Yeah, it's always like planned straight on stuff. There's never like anything interesting. There wasn't a single memorable shot in any of these movies.
Like to me, the only thing that's actually memorable is the where the ship crashes into the other one.
Oh yeah,
that was cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, that's that.
That's all that. When you say Star Wars sequels, it's probably the only thing I can remember.
Yeah.
No, but when you say a ship crashing into the other ship, I always think of I instantly thought of like the one in Rogue One where they brought in that little tiny ship that pushed it into the other Star Destroyer.
Okay, that one's
like,
cool. That was
a
cool.
cool thing too.
when
cool.
it crashed, when the Star Destroyer crashed down into like the shield protected
Yeah,
Shield
sphere.
generator thing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool looking. Yeah.
Wow, it's like they made a good movie. Can't do that with Star Wars. Let's talk about symbolism and themes now.
None.
Let's go.
There
Like,
was.
I think Chris was saying this
None.
before, but they absolutely ruined the first 6 Star Wars movies because
Yeah.
the whole thing was like Anakin was like, oh, he's gonna bring
Redemption.
balance to the Force, and he's gonna
Mhm.
destroy the Sith. But
Yep.
yeah. So the thing was Return of the Jedi. He throws Palpatine off the Death Star and then dies.
And he goes bye-bye. Yeah.
Completing the
Yeah.
story arc. Very thematic. There's closure. We love that. Complete story, good story. And
It's
then
not balanced,
they're
though.
like, somehow Palpatine returned, and then that ruins that because he didn't destroy the Sith anymore, and he they're still there. Darth
Completely
Vader didn't
ruins the
do
point.
anything. It
Yep.
ruins the purpose and the point of the entire original and prequel trilogies. It ruins the theme of balance, and it ruins everything. It ruins everything.
But is that balance though? If you kill the Sith,
Yes. Well, it's weird to explain, but
yeah,
it-
it's really hard to explain because like you're going like good versus evil, but then you're also like, oh, you have to bring balance to the Force, and it's just an interesting concept to like really get into.
but Anakin was supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. You can't forget that detail.
Yeah. Quotable lines. Look, sequels didn't have them.
But the purpose of all 6 movies is just spat on by the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
And I mean, symbolism and themes, there's really not much to talk about because the sequels didn't have any other than things that they ruined or were copy and pasted from the first 6 movies. So I mean, I guess there was some Force theme about family, even though Rey is not a Skywalker, so part of the family.
What the themes of this one is identity. But the thing is, Star Wars is not about finding your identity. Like, that's
Yeah.
so stupid. Like, I don't give a shit if Rey's Skywalker or Palpatine or not. I care if Rey is actually a unique character. No one gives a fuck. Like, honestly. Like, that's they ruined the whole thing by trying to, like, completely rework what Star Wars is about. Because Star Wars is not about your identity. That doesn't matter, really. It's about finding your purpose, not your identity.
Yeah, in an interview once, George Lucas was like, "Yeah, Star Wars is literally a soap opera. It's about a family, but this isn't about that family." I mean, Luke Skywalker's there for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Like, we don't even
Yeah.
know what is Rey's purpose.
Yeah.
To
Someone answer that. What's
She just
her
has to
purpose?
find
She's
herself.
Luke. She
and
is a
then
quota. She is a
find who
quota.
she really is, but like that's not a
Ooh,
purpose.
find who I really like. No
Yeah,
one
it's
cares
not a
about that. Like
purpose.
Misha was saying.
It's not a purpose.
yeah, it's stupid.
It is.
Dang, yeah.
Okay,
Moving on.
yeah.
Moving on, I guess.
Yep.
So now my favorite question: what would you have liked the sequel trilogy to be?
Oh,
So
okay,
I have.
we gotta go in order. Someone
really-
just says their stuff. Nobody says anything else, and then we just comment on it.
Yeah, I have a.
Baby
We wanna make it
Yoda.
orderly.
I want to start here. So
Okay,
this is like the majority of this is taken from George Lucas's original plan, as much as he's revealed. But there is some stuff that I kind of added. But I think it would be amazing if we just got a sequel trilogy about Luke, right? Because Luke is the main character that's still alive at the end of the Return of the Jedi. So it's just about Luke remaking Jedi Order, making his academy. None of that like Ben pulls the roof down and kills everyone bullshit. But like just Luke like rebuilding the Jedi Academy, training new Force users. But it's like a spiritual journey about Luke finding out more about the Force and like about himself, and like it's about the wills and all that, and just just like all this like ancient like Jedi and Sith stuff, and like there is no enemy, there is no conflict in the sequel trilogy. It's just a beautiful artistic epilogue to Star Wars, because there should be no conflict. Like we said, the theme of the Sith being destroyed and like Anakin redeeming himself and like finally fulfilling the prophecy, like that's all done. There shouldn't be an enemy, there shouldn't be a conflict. It should just be Luke on a spiritual journey and just finding out cool stuff about the Force, training new Jedi, and just a hopeful outlook on the future. Because for so long, the world of Star Wars was tormented by the Empire and by like this horrible thing that we saw rise in Revenge of the Sith. But now it's just over, and it's just a nice epilogue to Star Wars, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do we think about that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I prefer that because it's not like Star Wars does have to have its lightsaber fights there because it's always nice to sprinkle that, but I don't think that it needs to be this all-out action film, balls to the walls. I think, Adam, what you said is just very peaceful, very relaxing sort of thing that they could have added.
Like I feel like there's always like in history there's always wars and stuff, but there's always like a peaceful calm at the end, and it's just like like the final scene could just be like Luke putting away his lightsaber, not in the sand, okay, Anakin
I don't like sand.
It could kind of
But-
be
Oh,
like
like
the Thanos thing where he
burying
sits
his
on the...
lightsaber in the sand. How could Rey do
Yeah, it
that?
could be like a kind of Thanos thing, like what they did with Thanos.
Yeah, where he
Just
sits on the
chair,
edge
looking at
on a
light.
peaceful world.
It could just be like we won, we did it, guys. Luke can like he can relax and rest and train Jedi, and he's be like, I earned this.
Or maybe that's when Luke should really die. You know what I mean? That's when Luke should die. When he finishes the job and when everything's at peace. That's when he should die.
Or like, ooh, there could be like a sort of like Valhalla sort of thing where Luke just like wants to like, you know, die fighting. So like he gets one of his apprentices and he's like, let's just have a duel. And it's like Darth Vader, old Obi-Wan sort of duel that you see in A New Hope. It's just like a calm like sort of thing, and just like this nice death for Luke. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
That would be pretty
one
dope.
thing I would really like to see is kind of an introduction to the whole new generation of the Star Wars like family.
Yeah, and
I guess.
Mara Jade, come on, guys, like perfect character written right there. And Disney was like, nah.
Yeah, they just said
Right,
get her.
Like I mean, honestly, like I know I've said that I don't want like a MCU sort of thing for Star Wars, but I think like if they adapted like the Thrawn trilogy, that would have just been like awesome.
Yeah.
Does no one know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
No.
Yeah.
Well, there was a trilogy of books about Thrawn written in like the 80s. That's where they got the character from. He wasn't like originally from Rebels or anything, but it had like Luke and Leia and Han and all them in it. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I would have much more like what I said about like the sequels though. Like that's like the best. That's what I feel for Star Wars, you know.
So my two biggest problems with the sequels were characters that didn't really mean anything. You didn't know why they were there, what their intentions were, and how their actions make any sense. And the second thing is you didn't really have any introduction to their characters. You don't have any background, and I think, Adam, what you said with Luke Skywalker, if he kind of sat back and trained some Jedis, I think that could help kind of bring about a new generation, which could set the stage for future Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
But they didn't
I don't
have
know.
it.
Do you
There's just
know
like
what
no
I'm saying?
emotion
Kevin?
in the sequels, and I feel like a more calm like epilogue sort of thing would just be so good.
Yeah, no, the only emotion I felt was like, oh no, like Luke died, Leia died, Han died. But there's no like happy stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like I know that's not exactly what George Lucas wanted. Like he wanted like Darth Maul to be back and all that. Which is like why Clone Wars happened with Darth Maul. But Disney put an end to that real quick. But like, I mean, I feel like Darth Maul would have like, you know, like the final duel with him and Obi-Wan in Rebels, where like, you know, they like sort of become friends and they're like, you know, all of that, and they're just like, huh, you know, that sort of moment. I feel that like that's like the energy that like I feel like.
Well, because Maul knows the Force, and Maul's like, well, he's gonna bring balance, or Luke.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll avenge us or get revenge.
I forget the last thing Darth Maul says, but that was a really good quote. He's like, what was something about Luke? He's like, was it worth it? So, I don't know something. I was just like, I feel that's just like such like good sequel energy.
Oh, he said, is he the chosen one or something?
No. Here, I'm gonna go watch it. I'll be right back. You guys talk about something.
No. I have the quote here. So Maul says, "Tell me, is he the chosen one?" Obi-Wan says he is. Then Maul says he will avenge us, and then he dies.
Yeah. Like just that sort of energy where like Maul's just sort of like, huh? What if I was wrong? You know, and just like a peaceful moment. I don't know. It's just like I feel like that should have been what the sequels were, something like that.
Well, what I wanted for the sequels, I wanted Baby Yoda standing over his enemies, the tiny lightsaber, just slaying stormtroopers or first order troopers, just slaying them. That's what I wanted. That would have been my sequels.
That'd be cool.
It's just the whole sequel's just 6 hours of Baby Yoda. Just
killing stormtroopers and making sounds.
You know it'd be cool. You know what'd be cool? I had a really good idea. I mean, I was always disappointed in the sequels, like when Mace Windu gets like thrown out of the building. But like, it would be so cool if they somehow brought him back for the sequels. Like, that would be
great.
That would be so cool. I don't know, because I feel like we didn't get to learn a lot about him in the prequels that much, and I thought it'd be like cool to like learn about like what he did all those years, like if he stayed alive, and I thought that would be like interesting. Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, yeah, it's not like close to anything like that was planned or like what George Lucas had in mind, but I just thought like, if we're just going off of like, oh, what the sequels could be, it could, like, really, it could be so many great things, and it just wasn't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's just so much wasted opportunity and so much bullshit.
I mean, they had great actors. It's not the actors' fault.
They didn't. The writers were like, bro, the movie, we're gonna start filming in 4 days. We can write a script in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they
I'm
did.
convinced that none of them like watched any of the original 6 Star Wars episodes. Like, that's just what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
Like, anyone who loves those 6 movies wouldn't make something like this.
They wouldn't.
Like, I don't think they made the script in 10 minutes. I think they were actually like filming, and like Daisy Ridley was like just like, okay, what's the line, because they didn't know, because they didn't write a script, and they're like, what if she says Rey Skywalker, and they're all like laughing and like,
like, oh, that'd be funny, and then
making it up as they go.
But that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
She's a Skywalker. It doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't.
All right. Anyone have anything else to add?
Oh, so I think that something that they could have asked or something that they could have put in that would be unique is a little different from what you were saying. I think that it should just be a completely whole, like, brand new storyline, not Luke Skywalker. I think it just should be something like brand new that has its tiebacks with the original thing, or the original trilogy. So like they'll like bring up a character if they like find some sort of relic of them, but it should be just about a whole new person, and it shouldn't really be connected with the Skywalker saga. It should just be something different. I didn't really, I just, something different with a whole new character. Like I was saying, like the Kyle Kestis thing, if they did something like that for the movies, that would have been so cool and so interesting.
Yeah, like that's that, but like it's not, we're talking about like a direct sequel to the movies, like it's part of like the main series. Like not like
then that I would agree with yours more. But like, I mean, then that should be just like its own separate spin-off film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sort of thing is definitely interesting.
Oh, can I do like a little question like before we do like our ratings and stuff?
Yeah, I do have one more question, but yeah, sure. What's yours?
What movies do you think are gonna come out of Star Wars or are coming out of Disney for Star Wars in the future? Like, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's been they've confirmed a lot of stuff. They're gonna have an Old Republic trilogy,
that sounds cool.
trilogy.
That's good. I
Old Republic sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds good. I hope they do not ruin it.
But like they're gonna have so much like dumb shit.
No, because
dude,
I want to watch them because I want to watch them because
possibly ruin the Old Republic. That just doesn't make any sense.
You're saying that to the same people who ruined Star Wars.
They did do that, yeah.
But we don't know if they're gonna not fix it. You know what I mean?
I mean,
we don't know if they're gonna fix it.
I don't know.
But if they do and you miss out on it, then you're gonna be like, oh shoot, I didn't watch the movie. And
I mean, in the Old Republic, well, yeah, that's how it's always gonna be with Star Wars. I'm gonna watch everything because I just feel an obligation to, because I love Star Wars. But I'm not gonna. That doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. I like an Old Republic trilogy could be cool, but like at this point, Star Wars, they should just stop. They should just stop making Star Wars. Old Republic's great, and I think it'd be cool to see it on the big screen. Like, I think live action adaptation of Revan would be particularly awesome.
Yeah.
But
that would be dope.
I just think they should stop. I think they should stop.
Same.
Or
reached a low
Disney
point.
sell Star Wars back to Lucasfilm, and we're all happy. Lucasfilm, like,
They don't even have to sell it back. They don't even have to sell it back. And they can
make the movies.
They can make whatever the hell they want, but like, as long as they just like let George Lucas make his original sequel trilogy, then I will be happy, and I will not care about anything else that happens to Star Wars. not that anyone cares about my opinion, but like that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to say about this. Just disappointed with the sequels. I mean, I'm gonna watch the new movies. Hopefully they're great. Like, Disney, don't fail us. If you're listening, don't fail us. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say.
All right,
Yeah.
Final question for the rating. How did the change in like directorship / like production teams and like basically everyone just being swapped out change the final product? Because there was a lot of disconnection.
Well, the thing is,
it made it terrible.
well, no, because the thing is, even in the original trilogy, you had 3 different directors for the movies.
Yeah.
So obviously you're gonna have different creative directions, but the thing is,
They were connected.
Yeah, because George Lucas was good friends with what's his name?
Steven Spielberg.
No, not Steven Spielberg.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Lucas was good friends with Irvin Kershner, and he recommended, because what's his fuck, dude? I'm forgetting what I'm saying. Okay, George Lucas was good friends with Irvin Kershner. He recommended him to do it, and he was like, "Oh, I trust this man to do his diligence, and he's a good director, and he made a good film." And then for the last one, Richard what's his last name? Marquand, this guy. I don't know what his relationship with Lucas is, but Lucas obviously chose him to do it still. So
exactly.
Lucas has the creative decisions, and Lucas did a good job at those creative decisions, given what we got as a product, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I just feel like, what everyone else is gonna probably say is that like all this stuff with J.J. Abrams wanting to do J.J. Abrams things and getting completely thrown off by Rian Johnson stuff, it just doesn't mix well.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's just
all J.J. Abrams does is ruin franchises. Like, can we agree on that?
Yeah, sadly.
That's his
Bad
job.
for that.
yeah.
Uh,
He could be good, but he's just no.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't satisfied with J.J. Abrams' product, like, so they picked Rian Johnson to step in. So, like, but they weren't satisfied with that either. Like, they weren't satisfied with anything because they're stupid and they just want money. They can't figure it out. They
needed George Lucas,
and they don't want to copy.
Lucas.
It's stupid. They're stupid.
Yeah.
Disney is the worst company of all time. It's just the worst. Yes. Okay, final rating. So, Chris, what we do with our final ratings, 0 to 10, and you can do 0.5s if you want to do 0.5s. So, like, 0.5 is probably going to be frequently used, I'm assuming. It better be. But, so, I'll start, and you can give a little bit of an explanation to why you want to rate it that way. So I'll begin. What the fuck? 0 out of 10, and that's it.
Nice.
I think I will put my 2 cents into this one, and I will I'm not gonna be as harsh as Adam. I'm gonna say what the frick, 0.5. Thank you. Chris, give me your rating.
See, as the expert Star Wars fan here, and a rather gentleman like myself, I will therefore give this movie a rating of a negative 10 out of 10. This movie series was trash. It was just
Very nice, very nice.
so bad.
You are the first person to give a negative number.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You're making history here on Midnight Movie
Thank you.
Review.
All right, Nick.
Guys.
Nick, give us the rating.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow a similar direction towards Misha. Complete disappointments. Ruin the Star Wars franchise. 0.5.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Only reason, like, I watched them. They're Star Wars movies. I didn't think they were gonna be bad, so I watched them, but they were bad, so 0.5.
Yeah, there was so much hype, and it was just such a letdown, and that's why I'm giving the Star Wars sequels a 10 out of 100, which is a 1 out of 10.
All right, guys. So
That wraps it up.
So for the few of you who gave a above 0 rating, what would be a 0?
a 0 would be no movie at all.
Yes.
At least they
0 for
tried.
me.
You know what? I'm
tried.
changing my rating to negative 0.5 because this was worse than no movie at all.
Yes, that's why I gave my rating.
1 through 6, that was a complete story. Like, this was worse than having no movie at all. Like, no joke. It was.
You've convinced me.
Took away.
Yeah,
it took away
the reason
the first 6 Star Wars movies. It didn't give. It took.
Yeah,
This is worse than having
is
no
very
movie.
true.
There's no reason to have above 0 rating.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
I'm sorry.
0 for
I'm
me-
changing mine. I'm changing mine to a negative 3 million out of 10. Luke, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, the reason that I did give it like 1 point was just, I mean, visuals were fine. If the visuals were terrible, I would have given it 0.
They were average.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're talking about
which means that they're not terrible. Terrible visuals would be the thing that would push it to a 0.
it's like these movies, they just had the Star Wars badge posted on them, and
Yeah.
Yeah, you just slapped the
They're
Star
been-
Wars label on it.
yeah.
This was not Star Wars.
Like these were some of these movies made some of the most money ever. if they didn't have the Star Wars name on them, they would have flopped
Force
hard.
Awakens
Yeah.
made $2 billion. Think about
Yeah.
that.
That's more
my
money
God.
than any of us will ever hold in our entire life.
Yeah.
Not like specifically hold, just like have. Probably. We'll see.
Yes.
We'll
Who
see.
knows? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, outro time.
All right,
Outro
so
time.
if you have not picked up on this, guys, we have disappointed ourselves, and there are things we want to do to ourselves, i.e., probably die after watching these. That would be a better option
Yeah.
than sitting through these again. So we with great regret we watched the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Pretty awful stuff, to be honest. And thank you, Chris, for coming on and giving us your 2 cents. Although the 2 cents was pretty much exactly what we were saying and what everyone else should be saying. But it was really nice to have you on, and we hope to have you again. So we're all gonna say good night to you guys. And we're gonna
And we're watching Groundhog Day.
yes, we are
for
watching
next
Groundhog Day for
Ooh,
Groundhog
Bill
Day when it
Murray.
comes out. All right, guys.
week. Ooh.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah. Have a good night, epic gamers.
All right, guys. Bye bye.